Hello and welcome to another episode of LGR Play. I'm Mark Hamer and today I want to talk about Anthem. Now I wasn't going to do a video on Anthem, it's a game I'm enjoying but it's not the sort of game we usually cover here, and I'd already done a brief impressions video after the demo weekend, but I feel I need to. Partly because the reactions to this game are emblematic of a cottage industry almost, of angry hot takes on whatever the latest video game that doesn't quite meet expectations is. And I'm not talking about legitimate criticism, because with Anthem there is plenty to criticise, believe you me. But the endless stream of YouTube videos decrying it as the worst thing to have ever happened to video games in the history of the world are over the top and hinder proper criticism. You also get a vicious cycle of YouTubers saying Game X is bad, don't buy it, then making new videos saying Game X hasn't sold well, when the people they told not to buy it don't in fact buy it. And with a lot of YouTubers out there, I'm not sure if it's genuinely their opinion or if they feel they need to jump on the bandwagon because that's a consensus, everyone's ragging on this game, I need to do as well. Either way, I'm kind of fed up of typing a game's name into YouTube and having to dig past endless videos ragging on the game before I can find some actual constructive criticism, or dare I say, some positivity. So with that in mind, I'm going to do my best to critique this game, and first of all I want to address the legitimate issues the game has, as it does have many. The story, while engaging and full of interesting characters, is presented mainly through cutscenes and dialogue with characters in Fort Tarsis, the sort of hub world, and very rarely in or through actual gameplay out in the world. The core gameplay loop of flying, shooting and using abilities is great fun, but missions on the whole tend to fall into a small number of types: go to point A, kill everything, go to point B, or go to point A, stand inside a ring and kill everything until the bar fills, then go to point B, and only a handful of missions do something differently. The menus are also not great. Whenever you want to find your objectives or challenges or read something about the world from the codex, you have to navigate a menu that operates like a less snappy version of the old Xbox 360 Blades layout. The main hub that you go to between missions, Fort Tarsis, is interesting in its design and full of characters that you can talk to and learn more about the world and make choices that affect their lives and the state of Fort Tarsis. But it also feels quite lifeless, with NPCs standing in place waiting for you to go and interact with them. Now as the game goes on, the fort does become more alive, there's more hustle and bustle, but it never fully feels alive. There's also a host of technical issues and bugs. Most are small and mildly annoying, some are potentially game-breaking. A good example of this is I was playing a mission that is a major plot point in the story, and having been kicked out to the title screen twice during the mission, I finally made it to what I thought was the end, and then this happened. I quit the game and loaded it up again and tried to rejoin my team, by which point they'd finished the mission and I saw the rewards screen and then a cutscene that made reference to something big that had happened while I was rebooting the game. So then I had to go and hunt down footage of what I had missed on YouTube to fill in a major plot point in the story, and that's the sort of problem that is kind of unacceptable. There are other minor issues I have with the game as well. For example, some of the bonuses and perks that you have to attachments and weapons don't make any sense. You can get a pistol with a perk that means that shotguns do more damage. and so on, and that sort of stuff really needs fixing. I understand it is being fixed in an upcoming patch, but shouldn't have been in there for the start. And there's lots of little niggly things like that, but I would argue that there is plenty to like. Firstly, the javelins are all great fun to play with. Flying around the world never gets old, and each javelin type plays very differently from the others, and they play into the roles that they represent. The Colossus can tank damage and draw aggro from enemies, the Storm plays like a DPS mage, the Ranger plays like a typical soldier or warrior class, and the Nimble Interceptor plays like a rogue class. The synergy between these classes, their respective abilities, and the elemental combo system make for some frantic and frankly exhilarating battles, especially at the higher difficulty levels. The loot chase, which is what this sort of game is built around, has me hooked. The variety in design and operation between the different levels of a specific gun don't change as much as you would like for a looter shooter, but the chase for bigger and better loot is absolutely there and will keep pushing you to grind for that perfect drop. The world in which Anthem takes place is a stunningly beautiful environment with lush jungles, ruined temples, industrial mines and boggy marshlands. There is an incredible level of verticality which makes navigation and flight invigorating, and the world is full of dungeons, cave networks and underwater secrets. The world building is fantastic too, although much of the details of the lore are hidden away behind Cortex entries. You do get little bits of information about the world from gameplay moments and dialogue that makes you want to know more about this world, the shapers that created it, the titular anthem of creation, and the various inhabitants of the world. Same goes for the story. While it's not quite up to the standard of what we've seen in previous Bioware games, the story is engaging and has some great twists and turns along the way. And it's important to note that this is not like previous Bioware games. Those were lengthy single-player RPGs, and this is a loot game where the whole point is to get to the end game and grind for the best gear, just like you would do in Diablo. And nobody remembers the story in Diablo. It's also important to note the story's not done when you reach the end either. Bioware have outlined plenty of upcoming story content in their roadmap, and so the story of Anthem will continue after you see the credits roll. All in all, Anthem is a deeply flawed but fun and interesting take on the shared world looter shooter genre. It's tried something a little different and come up a bit short of expectations, but the game is still good. There is plenty of fun to be had, especially if you're playing with friends. Bioware have laid out a detailed roadmap of what is to come in the next few months, and there's supposed to be a full year of free DLC drops coming, so the game will continue to grow. If these additions can build on what is there already, then like Destiny before it, Anthem could go from being a flawed game with a fun gameplay loop into a genuinely great game. And I'm fully on board for that ride, and I'm looking forward to what Bioware have in stock for us in the coming months.
You hit that switch? Hit it again?
It's just me, or is nothing happening?
Okay, easy, easy. Let me see here. Yeah, this is here. Yeah, this is here. I mean, the connections are right. I know. There is this tried and true technique. Never fails to...
Matthias?
Was new. Incredible. Shove off, Hansi! What went awry? We struck the manifold. Manifold, definition, amplification, or multiplication. Oh, we've been multiplied? This is total scorp drop. Wait, this can't be multiplication. You're surly, and I'm not, and he cleaved in threes. What happened? Division. Of course. An inverse function of...
The manifold divided you.
I don't like this. Physical multiplication, psychic division. A personality split three ways. No! It's not what the manifold is supposed to do. We have to fix this.
The Dominion soldiers in the ruin, there were 3. Do you think the manifold affected them too?
3 Dominion soldiers? The same soldier.
I'm not sure.
We have to go check. Agreed. Any information will help. Wait! What are we supposed to do in the meantime?
Stay out of trouble?
But Trouble's my middle name. No, it's Arrow. Guys, focus. It's Arrow. Go. You're right, buddy. Oh.
Well, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, then please do give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. We put videos out at the moment once every 2 weeks in between episodes of the Lapsed Gamer Radio podcast, but I will be looking to up that content output soon. Speaking of the podcast, you can find it on Podbean, iTunes and Spotify, and you can find the Lapsed Gamer Radio team on Twitter @LapsedGamer. You can drop us an email to lapsedgamerradio@gmail.com, and you can read our words over at lapsedgamer.com. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode of LGR Play.